And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the More Gigs podcast, episode 1. In this episode, we will talk about why you should hire a marketing coach as an artist. Stay tuned. Yes, welcome back. So, we created this podcast to help artists when you're an artist. You want to create when you are an artist. And I completely understand this. But if you are an artist and you want to get your art, your craft out there, you have to talk to people, you have to advertise, and you have to be able to take the phone and call people. So that's why we created this podcast. And I'm happy to have one of my coaching students that became so good that is actually my co-host for this new podcast. So let me introduce to you Michael Harding, an amazing puppeteer from Ontario. He is the owner of Harding-Puppeteer, and I'm really happy to have him here. So let's welcome Michael Harding.
Thanks,
Hello,
Eli.
Michael.
Oh, hi, Eli. How's it going?
I'm good, and you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks for having me to the first ever, what's it called?
I don't know. I don't even know. No, it's more the More Gigs podcast.
More gigs. Yes. So, like Eli said, my name is Mike Harding, and I have a company called Apple Fun Puppetry, and I do puppet shows. So I'm a puppeteer, and I do puppet shows for birthday parties and daycares and libraries and festivals and places like that. And I've been doing it for over 25 years. And and so I just and Eli is my coach. So he helps me with the business side of things and just ideas in general. And that's why I'm here, because I heard he was doing this podcast and he asked me to be on, and I just thought it's just important that that we share this information, this coaching knowledge. It's something I didn't really ever think that I needed, and I've found a huge amount of value in it. So when he asked me to be part of it, I was like, yes, sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here, because the relationship with the coach and the student becomes eventually even like a reverse flow, like where the student actually teaches the coach some things, and it's really an exchange of knowledge. So I'm glad that you're here. So today's subject for the first episode is why you should hire a marketing coach as an artist. And it's funny because my English is not always that good. I come from Montreal, Quebec, and the way I wrote this is funny because it's almost if I want coaches to become artists, and that's perfect. I want coaches to be artists because they are artists in their way. And so today's subject is why you should hire a marketing coach as an artist. So if you are an artist, why you should hire someone to help you with marketing. Why do I feel this is important? Well, this subject is, and like I spoke a little bit at the beginning of the podcast, it's a hard subject. Like, what's your value? How can you sell yourself? Like, well, I mean, your services, right? Or your art. Like, how much is it worth? How confident are you to ask what you're worth? So all these subjects and how to talk to the right people. This is one thing that most of the people actually miss. Like they miss, because when you sell something, you have to make sure that it's for the right audience, and you have to find where these people hang out, right? So maybe Mike, just you could talk to us about like your own experience from, like, because you started the coaching with the pandemic. Like, before the pandemic, you didn't need any marketing advice or coaching. Like, it was mostly word of mouth.
It was, yeah, but that doesn't mean I didn't need coaching. I probably did. Like, maybe I would be like not that I'm massively successful, but who knows? Because I really think that the coaching can take it to another level. So yeah, but that's true. Like when the pandemic hit, soon after that, that's when you and I started working together, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, before that, I was lucky enough that most of the business I got was from word of mouth, and places were open. So there was lots of options, right? Like schools were open, daycares were open, everything, libraries. And then all of a sudden it was all gone. So, I had a really hard time for a little while thinking, oh, I think I have to go get like a job. Not that I don't have a job, but I was starting to think, oh, I think I'm going to have to like do something else for a little while. And, but then, and then I started talking to Élie, and one of your things was like, well, what if we can create like your own economy sort of thing,
yeah.
Right? And so that sort of rang with me. I'm like, oh, I wonder, right? I wonder if I could do that. And so I think given like the option of going to work at the supermarket or trying that, I was like, oh, I think I'll try. I think I'll at least try, right? And that's important. Like it's easy to give up, and I think it's important to not give up. If you have the option, to keep going as an artist, then we really owe it to ourselves and to the community as a whole. I think like artists are important, right?
Yeah.
That's something you always say, and it's true. It's not just like trying to pump yourself up or whatever. It's just if you think about what the world would be like without art, without performances and music, is like I can't even imagine. But visual art, dancing, and then puppet shows. Like puppet shows make the world a little bit happier place, I think. So
yeah,
it's just I think it's important to keep going.
A lot more happier. Like think about Dark Crystal. Think about like all these, like the puppetry has puppet shows for kids. This is a niche. You have puppet shows for adults. You have puppet movies for kids. You have puppet movies for adults. So it's huge, this world of puppetry. So I agree with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's massive. It's in places where we don't even think that it is. I think that's what you're saying, right? Like in movies, you don't even, and shows that you don't even notice there's a puppet. Sometimes there is, right? Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. That's that's probably really good puppetry when there's something that you don't even realize. Yeah, there's a puppeteer there making it work.
So I'm happy that you were able to spend the pandemic working as an artist online, because you worked 100% online because there was no like outside gigs or inside, like, so you were able to switch for the time being 100% online, and now it's starting again to be in person more and more, right?
Yeah, that's true. Almost 100% online. I switched to doing, and it's been tough, honestly, but it's happened, and now it's switching back. So like the summertime is usually the busiest for me. So things are starting to come in that are both in person and online. So it's nice to have. Honestly, it's nice to have both now. Like, less driving for one thing, so that's good.
It's best for the planet.
It's better for the environment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So thanks for the experience. Like, personally, I believe that there's three main reasons. Maybe there's more, but I like to put a number of like basic reasons that why you should having a coach, a marketing coach, or any kind of coach whatsoever, right? Because when you hire someone to assist you in some subject, could be like exercise, eating, whatever, school, marketing. So it's just someone that is there. So let me give you the three reasons. The first reason, and I feel it's the most important one, and I'll give you some really good example and funny ones, is the accountability. To be accountable to someone, to kind of report to someone that you actually choose. Like it's not like a teacher at school that you absolutely have to do the homework and you don't want to do it. And no, it's someone that you decide to hire and you decide to work with. So the fact that you're accountable to someone for your actions, and in this example, it's marketing, right? So phone calls, emails, sending proposals, social media. So the fact that you have someone there that you know you're going to meet next Monday or next Tuesday or next week or next month gives you like the little push or the ethical structure to actually do what you need to do to be successful. Because in the end, the goal is not to please the coach, right, Mike?
No, of course not, Eli.
So the goal is to help you as an artist to be successful and actually attain your dreams or your career goals. So I have two good examples, and it's from two of my first students as puppeteers. Like I had other artists before the pandemic, but as puppeteers, it was Mike Harding that you see right there, and Tom Knight, two of my very good friends now. And sometimes Mike now is a pro. Mike is a pro. He does his thing, and he's really good. But at the beginning, sometimes, because we were meeting on Mondays, he was doing half of the phone calls on Monday because he knew he was going to meet with me at 7 p.m. So, and I don't say this to like mock but it's really something that when you know there's like a time limit where you can do the actions, like I have to do them before 7 p.m. that day, you're going to do them. Because otherwise, why are you hiring someone to help you? Or why do you even bother to be an artist if nobody sees what you do, right? So that's number one, accountability. Number two, having a coach that has experience in whatever niche or subject you're trying to have more knowledge or to be helped. Having someone that has knowledge and confidence, the confidence that it will work, right? If you hire someone and I don't know, your problem is Instagram. I don't know how to use Instagram. Do I have to like? Do I have to post every day? Do I have to add friends? Whatever. If you hire someone and this person is certain and she has helped other people before you and she says, you do X, Y, Z, and in 1 year you'll have 10,000 followers for sure. It's better, it's easier because you have the confidence to actually put the time and the work in necessary to succeed. So that's number two, having someone that's confident enough to give you the right tips. Number three, for having a coach is having someone to bounce ideas that is neutral. It's really good to have someone that will not criticize what you do. Like we have some of these friends or family members, right? We know some people that actually they're not here to help. They're mostly here to give their opinion. But having a coach to bounce ideas with, neutral, like, oh, this is good, maybe try this or that. This is really, really crucial because your artists are filled with ideas. And some people, I don't know if they don't like that, but are not necessarily the right people to bounce ideas from. It's better to have like a neutral person that will just receive your ideas. And if you want their opinion, you'll be able to ask them. But it's not necessary. Sometimes just by having a communication with someone, you'll find your own answers by yourself. Just having someone to listen, right? So these were the three reasons I feel that having a coach is really crucial for any kind of subject, artistic or not. I feel these are three really, really important reasons. So, Mike, well, for yourself, why do you think it's important to help artists to get better at sales and marketing? Like,
I mean,
in 2021.
Sorry?
In 2021, let's say. why it's important right now?
Oh, well, like right now specifically, I mean, it's important, I think, anytime that people know just what you're doing, right? It's just communicating. And so it's more important now because we aren't out there, like as a performer anyways, like maybe other arts are different in that they're more naturally suited to being online, but as a performer, you know, I was kind of out there, so people would see me at a library, um, and then they'd ask me to do a birthday, or they'd see me at a birthday and they'd ask me to do another birthday. So it was like we were saying before, it's a lot of word of mouth, but that when so now that's gone, or excuse me, it's coming back, but it went away for a while. And so so that's why if people aren't seeing you, then I guess what you have to do is communicate with people and find the people that you can work with, right? And that you want to work with and might hire you.
Yeah.
So I think that answers the question. And I just wanted to go back to the accountability thing that you were talking about too before. Like a lot of this is building habits, I think. And yeah, so at the beginning, like you were saying, I made most of my phone calls, or like half. Usually I would make half the phone calls on the day I was supposed to talk to you. But that's and I still do that sometimes, but it's but I've built a habit now, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's important there, is like, and that's what the coaching helps with, is that it helps you to build the habit. So it helps you to put it in place, and eventually you'll just be able to do like we've been talking a lot about phone calls, and I don't think we really clarified, but before all of this, I didn't do cold calls, and I don't even like to really call them cold calls, but information calls.
Yeah.
I didn't even do them. That wasn't something that I would ever have thought to do. And now I have a steady habit of doing it, and I'm comfortable doing it. And but it was, you know, it wasn't easy at first. It was hard, and it would take me a long time, and that's why I would leave them till Monday to do, right? But as time goes on, things get easier, right? And that's important to keep in mind. And I think you know that you have that knowledge, so you can help me to sort of see that as we go along. Like, doesn't, and I can tell people too, like if you're interested in doing phone calls, you get faster at them, they get easier, and it's really just talking to people. It's not like giving heavy sales pitches or anything like that. So
yeah, I always give the example of the used cars salesman,
yeah,
that with the big gold chain, you know, with the open shirt. Hey, you have to buy this really nice Toyota, and everybody has this character in their mind when they're trying to sell themselves, sell their services, and I feel that I try to really make people understand they are not this character. They will never be, because they are themselves.
mm-hmm.
And talking to people, I helped a lady, an amazing artist, Cassandra Vargas. She's a ventriloquist, and she's a very good ventriloquist. I really like, because she's always smiling when she does ventriloquism. And I asked her, like, how long did it take you before you felt you were good at that, and before you were even willing to show others that you were doing ventriloquism? And she told me, like, I practiced every day for 1 year, I think she told me. Every day for 1 year before she actually showed people. That's a lot of days, and every day, and consistent. So phone calls, when you know how to make them, actually, because this is actually what's missing also. Sales is not, it's not something you will learn at art school. You will learn even at business school. They don't teach you.
Not really. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
They don't teach you how to do informational calls. I like these. They don't teach you that. So how do you learn this? This is basic communication. And usually we will just see someone do one kind of call, or cold call, or information call, and just duplicate what they do. But usually they don't have the right way of doing it. So it just goes from another person to another person, and eventually you end up with the bad way of doing it, and you don't understand why you're not good at it, right? So that's why the way we coach people for the calls, the cold calls or informational calls for artists, is an easy way. We also make practices over the phone to help artists to really feel confident about this, and we just bounce ideas of what the person could say, and it's really easy that way. So
yeah,
so
that was
yeah,
helpful.
yeah, really,
when
and
we did
I
that.
feel in the coaching, this is one of the things that is the most appreciated, actually. Like the fact that we practice one-on-one, we drill, we practice on Messenger or whatever on the phone.
Yeah.
So well, thanks, Mike, for talking more about this accountability, and I'm sure that in the coming months you will not do your calls all on Monday, and I believe in you.
I believe in you too. I believe in you too.
So if you would like more information, because we are always open to help more artists with the coaching, so you could book a call. It will be actually with me. I wrote with us, but it will be with me, Élie. So go at puppetpodcast.com/call. I'll put the link in the first comment also, so you can simply click on it, but it's puppetpodcast.com/call. And you have a little calendar. You choose your date, your time, you answer some questions. So if you're an artist, an entertainer, and you feel stuck and you're like, I would have to have more success. And we have Mike here that, like, I'm so proud of, like, everything he's been doing during the pandemic. And while a lot of people were not working at all, he was burning the phones and getting lots of gigs. And I was impressed every week with all his stats of the book gigs. So well done, my friend, and thank you so much for being here for the first episode. I hope you'll be there for other episodes.
Sure, yeah, I'll be there.
All right, so we have Mr. Syria Kids Ministries, that's from Indonesia, and he's watching us. Thank you, Syria Kids Ministries. So that's it for today, guys. So we will try to do this twice a month for the More Gigs podcast. And I like my intro so much, so I'm going to end on this.
Oh, good.
Because I like the music. It's like,
it's catchy.
I'm going to dance also. So let's see each other in 2 weeks for another episode of the More Gigs podcast. See you.
Bye.